Hey, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Show. Here we are. Tonight we're going to talk about Sperm Wars, which is a really funny story that Timothy and I talked about almost 2 years ago. It's come to fruition. So it's going to be a fun night. We're going to talk about the story a little bit, what it's about, what you guys can expect from the campaign, and the super awesome crossover that we've got going on with JBG. So we will talk about that later as well. But first off, we're going to talk about the sponsors of the show tonight. We've got Naughty Fairies. Check out Naughty Fairies on Etsy. There's a link up above. Go and check out all that naughty goodness and Luna Tales, which just shipped out. We've also got Luis Torres with Codex Entertainment, which just funded Whispers in Necropolis Chapter 4. So Lily the Demoness will be coming up next. And check out the other stuff. We got Nebula Pearl and Ace and Star that you can get from Codex Entertainment LLC. And we've also got Outpost 426 Studios with CB Zane and Michael Shoemaker. Please check out Black Rabbit and the Scorpiana and Into the Suck. They're all great series. Super excited to see where Into the Suck goes next with the next tangent from that. We've also got Doris Jones Labor of Love. Please check out DorisJonesLaborOfLove.com where you can get paintings and all kinds of beautiful artwork. You can get your own commission done. She's got some specials going on. You can get some 8 by 12, I believe, for like $79. So check out those deals. Hit her up. Get some great paintings and stuff like that. And we've also got Comic Books for Kids. Check out Comic Books for Kids, cb4k.org, and Comic Books for Kids, Rush Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K. We do charity auctions for stuff. I got some stuff I'm going to be throwing up here pretty soon. We got some paintings and some drawings and some commissions that were done. I actually got one from Adriana Tavares. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm super excited to put it up. So we're going to be launching some of this stuff coming up on Friday. I'm going to try to get going on the charity auctions again and raise some money for kids. And if you don't know what CB4K is, CB4K is a charity organization that sends comic books, coloring books, pop figurines, Pez dispensers, and much more to hospitals and cancer centers nationwide. And it helps give these kids hope. So it's a great organization. All the money goes to the kids, 100% of it. It's not 1 penny. It's not 5 pennies. It's 100 pennies of every dollar goes towards the kids. So without further ado, we're going to bring out our guest tonight, Timothy. What's going on, my man?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, no, it's the Black Mamba. I just now noticed the shirt. Oh, that's great. So how you doing, man?
I'm great, great. I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, no. So I mean, hell, 2 years ago we talked about this project. We were talking about Sperm Wars, and we brought it up. We had a good giggle about it, and you're like, "Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna make it come true." So everybody kept hounding and hounding and hounding at you, and finally you're like, "You know what? Whatever. We're gonna make this a thing." And so here we are. You're in the captain's seat, and we're talking about Sperm Wars. So tell me a little bit of background about how let's start with this. How did you get into comic books? Like when did you first get into comic books? What was the series you got into, and what made you just go, "Wow, this is something I want to partake in"?
All right. Well, originally I was in comics in the '90s. My stepdad was into comics. He collected big when he was in the military. I got his collection, but I pretty much got out of comics when I joined the military in 2000. Didn't actually get back into comics again until 2014. My brother moved out here to Alabama with me, and he was into comics, and so I would take him to the comic shops and stuff like that. But really, what got me into the comics is I was watching the Walking Dead TV show. Didn't even realize it was a comic book. Just loved the show, and when it first started, it's kind of different now, but when it first
Yeah,
started, it was amazing. And so it was already well over 50 comics into the series by the time the show was around, like going. So I picked up the compendium to check it out, and the comic blew my mind. It was way better than the show, and I just knew I needed to read more comics, like the content of the comics, and what people don't understand is there's so much more than just like your superheroes and your stuff like that. I can't see the comments. Oh, there it is. I got to go to the other thing. All right. So I started reading a lot of indie stuff. I really enjoyed like horror and darker and indie books, and started realizing how many movies and TV shows that some people probably didn't even realize were graphic novels or comic books were actually comic books, because it was like, like Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks and stuff like that.
Or like The Crow, The Crow was
Yeah,
based off
they're
of
not your traditional style, like what people think about with superheroes and tights and Marvel and DC. There's more out there that's, that like the Umbrella Academy and
yeah, there's more
just
like supernatural and the
yeah.
more horror style genre
So that's what
comics
got
out
me into
there.
it. I really didn't read a lot of the mainstream until like Guardians of the Galaxy came around. And then I really got into the galactic side of Marvel and stuff like that. So that's really where I started picking up more of the mainstream stuff. I still not a big DC person, but I do like a lot of the indie. Image is a good company to me. They do a lot of great stuff. Boom Studios has been doing a lot of great stuff, and obviously the Marvel. I still read the galactic side of Marvel, and they've been on cloud nine for a while now. So but I read Walking Dead all the way through, enjoyed the comic a lot, still watch the show, but really that's what got me into comics was Walking Dead and my brother pushing it on me to, and I mean, I'm still, I guess, new to comics, since it's only even though 8 years. So there's still a lot I haven't touched and a lot I need to read. So, but
Producer F is in the studio. She decided to go ahead that now that I'm live, now she wants to be an attention whore. I tried to get her to come up here earlier. Now she wants to come up here. So yeah, so that's great. You enjoyed The Walking Dead. You got into comic books, and so let's kind of move into when and where did the story for Sperm Wars start? Like
Sperm Wars was
where?
just it started out just a fun, stupid doodle that I was doing when I was like 18 years old in the Army. I started drawing little sperm characters, people I knew, famous people. Just drawing. Like I would draw like an egg in the middle of the page, and then a bunch of just sperms trying to get the egg. It's the purpose of a sperm is to be the one that gets to the egg first. Fertilizes it. So I started doing that for fun. People just thought it was hilarious. I would draw my buddies as sperms. I would draw people as sperms. Never really gave it much of a story other than just being goofy. And then about 2010, I joined the police department and did the same thing. I was at the police academy, started drawing my buddies as sperms. It got brought up, so they wanted to be sperm also. So I drew the guys in the police academy as sperm, and everyone always kept saying this needs to be more than just this. Could be a cartoon on Adult Swim or something like that, or And so I never really thought much of it other than it was just goofy and fun, being stupid and immature, and silly. And so once my other book, the reason that we came on last time, Strings, was fully funded, and I see that there was support out there for stuff like this, and Sperm Wars was really stole the show on our last interview we had. It was about Strings, but once Sperm Wars was brought
Oh my
up,
God, yeah.
it was forgotten.
It was like it just went out of control. We had like 15 people on the show, and it was like everybody's like, "Who cares about strings? We want to hear more about Sperm Wars."
And that's been
And
the great
so
thing
I'm
is
like,
I keep thinking about how Sperm Wars it excites people. People think it's hilarious. They love the concept of it all, and they're like, just give it a story, and people will want to see what happens with it. So
well, listen. I mean, there's all this serious shit going on in the world right now. Everything between the war between Russia and all that going on, and then we've got COVID going around, and you've got this, you've got that, and people are just down, and everybody's doing superhero books, everybody's doing this, and then you're like, hey, here's this funny story about sperm. Let's do Sperm Wars. And so, some people might have a stick in their ass about it, and be like, oh man, that's so inappropriate. But it may be inappropriate, but that's what makes it fun. It's different. So you're not just like trying to do what everybody else is doing. You're trying to be fun. You're trying to be original. Do something that's going to excite people. Give them something, because they're like, oh, I got to see what this is all about. And it's just about having fun. I mean, I can't wait to read it.
Other than I get it. Like some people are like, oh my gosh, sperm. That's all they see is sperm, and they're like, oh my gosh, But
yeah, I'm out.
When you get to it, the Sperm Wars story itself, outside of the characters being sperm, is really a fun, lighthearted tale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's not going to be, it's not an adult, there's no nudity. I mean, sperm are naked anyways. I mean, what's there to see, you know? So like, I mean, the story.
So speaking of
Hey,
sperm, bam, right here. So this is one of the crossovers that we're doing with Sperm Wars. I talked to Timothy about this, and they said, hey, we did this campaign. It's fully 100% shipped. It's funded. It's gone. It's out the door. These are some of the mock-ups that we did for the campaign. But we have a special edition black towel that is available on the campaign that has the Jizz Be Gone logo that says Sperm Wars on it, and it's hilarious. I wish I would have loaded it up in here, which I might go ahead and do that. So you got some fun crossovers. It's not just about the story, yeah, they're sperm characters, but it actually has a real story to it. There's no nudity. There's nothing, super obscene about the book. It's just, a story with sperm characters. It's kind of like Spaceballs, only with jizz. I'm surrounded by assholes. I love that movie. That's always going to be one of my favorite movies ever. But what else do you have as far as add-ons go?
So our main add-ons are obviously we have the special cover that myself and the colorist for the book did, Danny Harrell. The only way to get it, one of my most popular covers I ever did as a store for the Izzy's Comics was our Nirvana Nevermind homage for Department of Truth. And Nirvana Nevermind is something that the cover, very iconic, that I have every homage of. So I thought it would be cool to have an homage of my own book for my personal collection. So I did a little sketch up of Nirvana Nevermind with a sperm, trying to get the egg underwater, and so we have that as the only way to get that book is you have to pick a pledge first, and then you can add on that cover to keep it more limited, because not everybody's going to want to add on more stuff. So that being as an add-on, I figured that would keep that more of a limited, more special edition version of the book. So we have that. We've got prints. We did a contest of all the. So we had everybody. What's up, Brian? So we did a contest in Izzy's Comics where everyone. I was asking people for ideas for characters, and everybody was having a blast, like coming up with like puns, like Benedict Cumberbatch, but just that was not one you didn't have to change the name, But then you had like Kanye West for Kanye West, and so everyone was coming up with all their ideas.
Ted Splugent.
Yeah, and so I was gonna pick someone's character to be in Sperm Wars, and then give them a copy of the book or something for for winning the contest. But there were so many great ideas that we decided to just take everyone's idea, and we did like a jail scene in the book where it's a 2-page spread with all the characters that everyone came up with ideas for, and we made them into the book on 2 pages. But we took those 2 pages and made a print out of it. So we'll have a print that you can add on that has all these characters that all the people that are in the group that designed and thought of and stuff like that. So that was a cool little add on for people. I'm going to be giving those away though to everyone that actually had a character in the book. We're going to all 3 of us, the interior artist BB Reyes, and the colorist Danny Harrell, are all going to sign it. So there'll be triple signed prints that we're going to give away to all the people that participated in the contest too, as a thank you.
That's awesome.
So, but there's that as an add-on you can get. And then obviously the Jizz Be Gone towels, which was perfect for this,
Yeah, it was the first thing I thought when you said that. I was like, oh, dude, I got the perfect thing. We just did this campaign. Because, like, how funny is that? You got Sperm Wars, and then you got your towel,
Yep.
that accompanies the book. It's freaking hilarious. Like, it's too bad we couldn't come up with, like, towel comic book bags.
Yeah, cool.
Just slide them in it. Just slide your Sperm Wars in so you don't get all sticky after reading it.
But we do got some.
Oh my gosh,
we got some cool stuff that we plan. I mean, the book, the Kickstarter has been pumping. It has been full force going forward. So far, we're just about to be funded, and we're only about a week and a half into it. So we do have some stretch goals planned that are going to be pretty fun too. We got some custom condoms being made with the little main character from Sperm Wars on them, on the condoms, and it says Sperm Wars. And then we got like We got an Ashcan edition of the book that's going to be a black and white, all art, like almost like a coloring book thing version of the book
Dude, I
that you
love
can
ash
that's going to be
cans.
given out, and so we'll have some cool stuff coming too to people. So
So there it is, everybody on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. There's the link right there. You can go check out the book and back it. He is $471 from funding. So
yeah.
so hopefully we can get him a little bit closer tonight. So to kind of change gears a little bit and get off the book for a minute. So what were some of your favorite things growing up? Like what were your favorite cartoons, TV shows? Like what's your major thing
So
that it comes on TV, and every time it comes on, no matter where you catch it, you have to finish watching it.
right. So in the '80s, I'm an '80s and '90s child. I was born in '82, so I grew up on
85
Smurfs.
represent.
So Smurfs and Thundercats was my big one in the '80s.
Yep.
Ninja Turtles, obviously, I love Ninja Turtles. I can watch Ninja Turtles all the time. I'm glad they keep on pumping out Ninja Turtle stuff. Um,
Yep.
I just saw that it looks like there's another movie coming. But we'll get more Ninja Turtles. Um, then what's funny is I know it's not a good cartoon, but it used to come on every morning before I went to school, so I'd wake up in the morning and enough time to watch it. But the Highlander cartoon series that they made, it was
Oh my gosh.
terrible cartoon. But if it ever goes on now, I'll watch that. Like I know it wasn't great, and it lasted
You
like
know
maybe
what came
15.
on that early in the morning? Like that was a great cartoon. Mutant League Sports Network.
I never heard of that one.
MLSN. Oh my God, you've never seen the Mutant League?
Uh-uh.
So my dad would have to get up at like 5 or 6 o'clock for work, and so I would have to get up that early for school, even though school didn't start till like 8:15. So it was like all the older kid cartoons that were on before the little kids got up, and I'd turn it on and it'd be MLS and the Mutant League Sports Network, and it was just like all these players and like the football, they could arm it as a bomb and throw it and just blow the guy up that catches it.
That's pretty
Like they
awesome.
were literally ripping each other's limbs off. Like it was hockey, it was baseball, it was volleyball, it was every sport you could think of. And that was like the whole point of it was like to see how much carnage could happen. It was one of the best cartoons ever. And they ended up making it into a Genesis game. They had Mutant League
Okay.
they had Mutant League Soccer, hockey, and I think football. And I think those are the only three that they ever made a game on. But I totally got that. And the football game is just as great as the cartoon
Right,
because
right.
literally you can hit a button to arm it and you throw it. When they intercept it, it explodes and it blows through.
That's awesome. But
I
yeah,
will never forget that.
I still watch cartoons like crazy. Like I have a ton of kids, so but I got a 6-year-old still, so I haven't all the way up to almost a 20-year-old this year, and then I got a 6-year-old, and we watch cartoons all the time in the comic shop, and Disney's always doing some kind of marathon of some
Yeah,
cartoon.
like gargoyles
Well,
or
no, it's like
bonkers or
lately I've been getting into I think it's like Owl House and like Gravity Falls and stuff like that. Like we
yeah.
I can watch the heck out of those. Like I think they're amazing cartoons, even though they're newer. I think a lot of the newer cartoons are too obnoxious for me. But there's some that I've been able to get into really well with him, and so yeah, still can get into some cartoons. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender was one of my favorites that I watched like crazy until I like binge watched that whole series. Hated the movie, but loved the cartoons. So, but
So as far as like what else did you watch growing up? Like what were some of your favorite genres of movies that you liked?
so I'm a huge baseball nut. So like Field of Dreams and like all the baseball movies that came out back in the day, Bull Durham and stuff like that. I'm a huge baseball is my number one. I mean, comics are great, but you can ask my wife; she hates baseball season. I literally watch 90% of every Dodger game that comes on every night, and they don't come on until 9 o'clock my time. So I'm up till like midnight watching the Dodgers every night. And I can watch all 162 games, the playoffs, everything. I can watch minor league games. I mean, not minor league, but preseason games, everything for baseball. That's my number one thing. Um, so baseball movies, I really get into those. But I've always liked like your action type movies and horror, big time horror nut. They don't make much great ones lately, but definitely like
Yeah.
horror. definitely like some horror movies. My
Nothing
wife
will beat the
Halloween
80s horror
film.
movies where it was like just so over the top, obnoxious, like somebody got stabbed and like the blood spraying out, like it's so unrealistic, but like you've got this tomato ketchup looking blood that's just like you can tell somebody's, using those hand pumps to squeeze it
Right.
out. Like that was what was so fun about Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. Like those are some of my favorite movies growing up because they're so over the top ridiculous that
Well,
it's funny.
the one that
It,
scared me the most growing up was Child's Play.
yep.
And I was young when that one came out, but my grandma had a My Buddy doll in her house and stuff, and I used to like hate walking by that thing. And we had a basement, and the laundry room was down in the basement, so I'd like go do my laundry, and then I'd run back to the staircase and then walk up the staircase really slowly. I hated being in the basement by myself.
Everything else he watched was scrambled on Channel 99.
And there's Danny. So Danny, he's our colorist for the book, Danny Harrell. So he's in here.
Welcome to the show, Danny.
So, but yeah, I've dabbled in just about everything. My wife would kill me if I don't mention. I'll give it away. So like, I got this tattoo done. I got a whole. It's supposed to be a little bit of everything for my. It's hard to get all the different.
You got Umbrella. Let's see. You got the Smurfs.
So I got an Ewok with an Infinity Gauntlet, Game of Thrones, Avatar: The Last Airbender thing, Disney. You got a Smurf. You got that's the Resident Evil, and then Walking Dead. But then the one that everybody asked me about, I'm trying to find it. So it says right there, it says J plus P. All right. So J plus P. It's easier if I do this probably. So that's my. So growing up, I grew up with 4 little sisters and my mom and stuff. So we watched all those teeny bopper shows like Beverly Hills 90210, Party of 5, and stuff like that. And so I guess I got forced to watch them, but I ended up getting really into them. Well, my big one was Dawson's Creek. So I always wanted Joey and Pacey to end up together. So that's why I got that Joey and Pacey tattoo on my arm. My wife would kill me if I didn't put that out there. So
I don't have anything tattooed on my arm.
You got what?
I said I don't have anything tattooed on my arm.
Yeah.
No, mine's just my dragon.
Hey, that's cool though. It's a lot of work. Yeah, I just started my sleeve this year.
Did you? Yeah, I've been doing it because I can't get this spine stimulator. So one of my friends has been tattooing me, and that's been kind of like my pain stimulator. Instead of getting the one attached to my spine, it's like trading a pain for another pain. So I don't know, it's kind of like therapy in a sense. Because like I deal with the same pain day in, day out, every day. And then to go in and have this done, it just kind of like numbs that, knocks it out. Now I'm like, oh man, my arm hurts. And so I don't know, in a way it helps. So it is what it is.
Huh? Oh, I said I.
Yeah. So what kind of Star Trek or Star Wars? That's the big question. Star Wars.
Yeah, I never got into Star Trek. I tried. I enjoyed the newer movies, which I know a lot of people don't enjoy the newer movies, but I could get into those ones. I couldn't get into the TV show. I guess it started out way before me, So, but yeah, Star Wars big by far there.
So is there any Star Wars references in Sperm Wars?
I mean, we got one of the main covers is a Star Wars homage that my son did.
Yeah.
He did A New Hope with the Darth Vader sperm in the background, and then you got like the little R2D2 and C3PO as sperm and all that stuff. And there's going to be in Sperm Wars, there's a little bit of every kind of movie you could think of. We got characters from all different genres. There's references to a lot of movies. The main one that's kind of a parody is Lord of the Rings. So it's almost like I tell people it's like Lord of the Rings in the reproductive system of a woman. So that's the easiest way to say, but Gandalf.
Oh, come on, you had gold sitting there. Could have been Lord of the Cock Ring.
Yeah. So well, like there's gonna be like you got the there's Lando. He's one of the main characters. He's one of the guys. Well, not main, but he's one of the guys in the book. And then but so like, the Gandalf sperm is the one that is like putting the team together in this one, and we had the Fellowship of the Ring was what it was called in the Lord of the Rings, but you can't use that again. So we're doing the fertilization ship of the egg. So, so definitely going to be some puns and some play on things, and lots of there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in the background that you got to pay attention to, not just the main storyline, but there's going to be word bubbles and things going on in the backs of each page that is going to be like other movie references or characters that you'll see in the background that are some like Jay and Silent Bob chilling on the they're going to be a Jay and Silent Bob sperm chilling in the background at some point and stuff, just little Easter eggs and stuff thrown in. Everybody's going to be spermified. So we got Morgan Seaman, or Morgan Freeman, is the narrator of the whole story. So I used to remember the movies like was a Never Ending Story and stuff, where they like were telling a story at the beginning, like reading a book at the beginning, and that's how I wanted to start. That's how it's starting out, with Morgan Seaman reading a book to everybody, telling them the story of Sperm Wars. So
yeah, it's kind of like Princess Bride too, where he's reading the book to him, and it kind of goes in. Yep. That's great.
There's a little bit of everything. I mean, it might go over a lot of younger people's heads because they haven't seen a lot of the movies or whatever's going on in it. But I referenced movies like Shrek and stuff for that. There's a lot of jokes and stuff in those that went over the top, like when you're a little kid, but you saw that, you're like, oh my gosh, like you got it as an adult. So I want the main story to be for everyone, and then like the stuff in the background to be the stuff that really gets us, and like really we like, oh my gosh, like
like Princess Bride if the pages were stuck together. Hey, that's what the towel's for, man. That's why you got to get you one of these great towels. Only it's going to be black and it's going to say Sperm Wars above it, just so your pages don't get stuck together. So kind of switch gears a little bit. So as far as strings go, you did the first issue on Kickstarter. Have you done anything with strings since then?
Yeah, Strings 2 came out at the beginning of this year.
Did it?
So we did Strings 2 on Kickstarter also. It was successfully funded as well. And Strings 3 is in the works right now. We've been working on the art. We've probably been about 15 pages into the third issue. So that'll be after we're done with the Sperm Wars campaign, we'll get ready to start up Strings 3. And
I missed out on the second one. So that was at the beginning of the year when I had so much crazy stuff going on. I wasn't able to back anything in. And I was like, I seen that it had gone through and it funded, but I was kind of curious as far as, how many books you were planning on for this run as far as this storyline.
It's supposed to be 5, but I'll tell you, I've had a hard time. Like, my story keeps getting more and more complex in my head, and I keep wanting to add more and more to it. And I'm like, how am I going to get it all squeezed into 5 issues?
Stop it!
So I'm struggling because I'm having to find ways to skip some of the stuff I want to put in there, so it doesn't get like this next issue, the issue 3. I wanted to tell a lot more of the story and what's going on to start giving you because I know we need to start getting towards the end, and we're halfway through. So I was like, how do I like explain all of this in 25 pages or something like that without like blowing your mind or whatever, It's like, I don't want to be like single issue, trade paperback, single issue,
So for those that are watching and those that watch this back, if they were to want to come to your online shop or message you and say, hey, I want a copy of Strings 1 and 2, give us an elevator pitch on what the story is about.
Okay, so Strings is a psychological horror. It's about the consequences of ignoring your conscience too many times, and your conscience becoming a physical conjuring of your undoing to give you that last chance to get things right. So we do still sell them, 1 and 2. We've done second prints for number 1 now. You can get them on our website, izzy'scomics.com. But it's not your typical horror. It's not slasher. Like I said, I like psychological. I like, I want you to be like, oh crap, like what the hell, kind of stuff. Like you didn't see that coming type thing. One of my favorite newer horror things that's been around lately was the Saw series. I just loved how you're like, oh my god, like you didn't see it coming. Like the Saws always had a twist at the end, and like the story was
Dude,
never
I
like
love the Saw movies. The Saw movies
you
are
couldn't guess
great.
what was gonna like,
No.
and the way they twisted it all and brought it together as
Well, and
one
here's
like
the
big
thing.
story.
The best part about the first movie is it took place in one room pretty much
Yeah,
the entire movie. So it was such a low budget film, but it had such a great story. They were able to take one scene and make it as fucked up as possible to where you were just like, this is insane. Like, what would you do in this situation? Like, this guy cuts his own foot off to
right,
escape. And you know, like, would you do, like, it really made you think, if I was in a situation, would I cut my foot off? Like,
right.
it was such a psychological thriller, and it was so good. And each time one came out, you wanted more. And some of them got a little cheesy, got a little ate up, but you know, in the end, they always had that great twist, and you're like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I want. I don't want you to see things coming in this book. Like I said, the third issue to me is the big one, and it's really the what starts to give you that backstory and the twists and turns and bringing everything
That's
together.
he just took the words right out of my mouth. He's like, in contrast to Sperm Wars, you only see it coming. I was gonna say that, but he took it right out of my mouth. Oh, that's great.
um, but yeah,
Derail.
so we got a lot planned for Strings still. Inhyuk Lee is actually doing a cover for Strings #3. So like I said, it's going to be our biggest book yet for the series, and it's going to be the one that really starts to give you the meat and potatoes of it all, because we want to start getting to the end. So and hopefully we'll be able to finish it in the 5 like planned. And we're still doing the whole. Bryce is doing the progression of media covers so that we can do like a box set of all those at the end.
See, that's gonna be the twist that nobody sees coming. So like, you're doing this book of the psychological thriller about what happens if you don't listen to your conscience. And see, your conscience is telling you 5 books is not gonna it's not gonna happen. And
Right.
you're gonna do 5 books, and your conscience is gonna come alive, and some crazy shit's gonna happen to you, and we're gonna be like, holy shit, we didn't see that coming. It's gonna be the big twist. Timothy gets taken out by his conscience. Like, you should have wrote a 6th book, damn you.
So, and
Oh
there is
man,
something special planned for the end of Sperm Wars, which I'm not going to give that away, but
the big finale.
yeah, they're
All right, I'm ready for the big
for the Strings
finale.
fans, it'll be exciting. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, when he said the encounters of Sperm Wars, you'll only see it coming. We did one of our stretch goals was going to be safety glasses that had the Just Begun logo on it. Oh my god, it's too much. So yeah, so folks, there you go. Check out Strings. I wanted to highlight that because it was what originally Timothy was on for before was Strings. #2 came out earlier this year. If you want to check out that series, you can hit up Timothy. You can go on the website for Izzy's Comics and you can order those. #1 is on the second print. #2, I guess there's still some first prints available of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we'll do
And so
second print right around the time 3 comes out. We'll stop printing #2. So, and we always do a
okay.
special cover, so it's not the same. Like second print #1 is a totally different cover that never came out. I don't like when you do like just changing up the color or something like that. I like when you
Yeah.
get a full on totally different
Yeah,
variant
you get a
for
totally different
yeah,
variant because then,
yeah,
for collectors, they're like, oh, cool, mine's different forever because now second print is a different cover.
yep. Makes you
Yeah, it's not like
if you're a
Marvel where they're
completist,
like,
you got to get it.
they're like, we're on the 8th printing, it's still the same cover. And you're like, dude, there's so many of these. And like, you look at them online, you're like, I can't even tell what print this is.
Man,
Oh,
there's been some issues with that kind of thing, like just because they change up a little bit of coloring or something, and people got screwed thinking they were buying a first print and it ends up being a third print, or
yep.
so. And
Yeah,
people
it's a
aren't
huge
honest,
issue.
there's sellers that just will list it as that book. They don't know they don't know, or they don't want to tell you what print they got,
Let them figure it out on their
Yeah.
own.
If you don't know, it's on you, I guess.
String Wars. String
String
Wars is a psychological thriller. Sperm Wars is a strokeological filler.
this guy.
Uh,
Danny's been having a blast with this. He says I
Oh,
need
it
to
sounds
call.
like it.
Well, he says we need to, instead of contest, I should be saying come test, and then actually, oops, I mean contest. So,
Well, we all know since he's the colorist that he's probably running out of white. Lots of it.
yeah, he's definitely seen a lot more than everybody else. So he's like wishing BB was a little bit faster so he could get to color in more pages. So,
Hey, slow and steady, man.
well, we did have to take a break. So BB's whole family got COVID.
Oh man.
So she was down for the count for a while, and I think she's still kind of down for the count, but she's back to drawing as of last week. And so luckily I did this as a 60-day Kickstarter campaign too. That gave us time, to
Yeah,
finish it
I'm
all
really
up.
glad you did a 60-day campaign because if y'all didn't know, this show was supposed to happen not that last week, but the week before last. And so everybody knows last week I finally got diagnosed with pneumonia. The whole top right of my lung is collapsed. But like I hadn't felt good for a while. I've been in and out of the hospital several times. They just kept telling me I was crazy about my chest pains that I was having right here where my lungs collapsed. And poor Timothy, he's like messaging me. He's like, "Are you okay, man? Are you still alive?" And like I'm just like sleeping. I wake up at like 10 o'clock and I'm like, "Ugh," man. I'm like, what time is it? And then I look and I was like, oh shit, I had a show at 8 o'clock. And I was looking at my phone and he's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna move on. I got some things to do. I
Yeah.
hope you're okay. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. I'm like, I haven't been feeling good. I came home, I crashed, I set my alarm, my wife even woke me up and I fell asleep.
Yeah,
Oh man, it was
it was a pretty boring hour watching my computer for an hour on StreamYard with nothing happening.
He said he just finished a page tonight. Yeah. Oh man, I felt terrible. I was like, that's the first time I've ever like no showed somebody before. But and then it turned around like last Saturday, nobody showed up, and I was like, yeah, whatever. So I put the Batmobile together instead. Oh man, but yeah, I'm glad you did a 60-day campaign, so we were able to have you on again. Again, I apologize for
Oh,
that.
you're
That was a
good.
total messed up for me. I'm just like tonight. My wife woke me up at like 6:30 because I laid down after I got home from work. I'm just like, oh man, I'm beat. And so, uh, yeah, I was like, I'm not doing this again. I got up at 6:30. I'm like, nope, it's not happening. I'm not falling asleep again.
Well, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no man, it's no problem at all. So as far as Sperm Wars goes, going back to that a little bit, let's not slip too much. But anyway, what kind of story arc you got for the first series?
So, like I said, it's going to be a big parody of Lord of the Rings. So, trying to put together a team to, you know, get to the egg, be the one that gets the egg, kind of like Lord of the Rings, getting the ring to Mordor or whatever. So we're going to be figuring out who's like putting this team of people together, this group together that's going to be perfect for this quest to get to the egg to fertilize it to become another human being. We need more of them in the world. So
So how many issues are you thinking planning on for the
this is going
first
to be a
series?
graphic novel. So we're doing a
It's gonna be
graphic
graphic
novel
now.
so we're doing a bigger book. That's why it's if you saw it, I tried to be fair on pricing. It's a little bit. It's going to cost me more to print these things than it would a comic book. But I've seen people do, their exclusive comic books, $25, $30, $40 for one single issue comic book. So we're doing $20 for the trade paperback. As of right now, it's sitting at about 50 pages of story with extras in the back too, some fan art, I'm going to put the originals, my original sketch from when I was in the police department and from the military. So little extras in the back to, just little extra pages and stuff like that. All the cover gallery, it should be a lot more than 50 pages by the time we're done.
So are you
And
still a
then,
police officer, or did you give up
no,
on
I
that?
quit. So I was a police officer for 9 years. And then in 2019, my wife, I was about to get my college degree. I was going back to school, and I was getting my IT degree back in May of 2019, and my wife told me that why don't I just quit the police department, take on the comics business full time, and if nothing else, I could always fall back to my degree if the comic thing didn't work out for me. And so we started up Izzy's Comics full time in 2019. And then in 2020, we were doing so good, we opened up a brick and mortar. So now we have a physical. That's where I'm at right now. I'm inside the store.
Cool.
So we opened up Izzy's Comics last year. Oh, no, it wasn't last year, 2021. So it was almost 2 years because it's last year. We've been a little over a year now. So
we're spying on the books behind you. I see we got Venom Lethal Protector, the red, and then we've got
there's a couple first roads on there.
Slabs.
So
ooh, I see. Is that Elvira, the fourth one over on the top?
No, the black and white one up there.
Yeah.
No, that's that Catwoman one where she's in jail.
Oh, it's Catwoman. It looks like Elvira from this far away.
No,
I guess it is kind of short hair.
Yeah, but then the one next to that is a first appearance of Rogue that actually has a remark by Michael Golden on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then you got the first appearance of Teen Titans underneath that, and
dude, the Joker on the right is sick.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
But those aren't even the best books. Those are I try not to be too put the best books on the wall because I've seen too many shops like they'll have a $20,000 book on the wall and they wonder why they get robbed. You know?
Yeah, those go into hiding.
Yeah, but I mean, we see a lot of the card shops get broken into. We do cards now too. Like we've gotten big in the Pokemon scene and trying to get into the sports cards, and we're trying to be everything, an all-inclusive store.
So have you caught them all yet?
No, I don't even know them all yet.
Yeah.
We used to do like live unboxings in the store, and the guy that works here with me, he started out with Japanese Pokemon. He was bringing Japanese Pokemon cards in the store, and he'd be opening the packs, and I'd be trying to read off the names or say who they were, and I know who half of them were. So I was just making up so this guy right here, Snom. I actually called him Buttface the first time I ever saw him because that's just what he looks like. He looks like a big old butt. And so now there's a running joke that everybody thinks that's my favorite Pokemon, but he's but I don't know half the Pokemon. I won't pretend I do, and I butcher the names all the time. So
Orange Bird. Ouch, you've been hiding the great books, and I might have to break in and snatch that first Teen Titans.
There's a couple of those first Teen Titans. That's not the highest grade one. That's just the one that's on the wall right now.
Oh, there you go. So don't take that one. Find the higher grade.
There's a better one in the back.
You're not supposed to tell him where it's at. He's like, I might have to break it and snatch it. Now he's like, all right, it's in the back room. Now I know where to break into it. Jeez, here we go. So as far as the comic book shop goes, what's it like running your own comic book shop? It's not very often I get to interview a creator that actually runs a comic book shop.
I will say it was a lot easier when it was online only. And I've lost a lot of focus on the online, which I know that's where the money's at. And I've been trying to get back there now. So we started out where we were doing 5 days a week in the store open. And I got to the point where I was like struggling to try to ship out all these hundreds of packages or whatever every day or whatever, and sort
and keep the store open,
invoicing stuff and all this stuff with people with the store open. And like, especially during the beginning of the week, we'd have like slow days, and it wasn't worth like not being able to get stuff done online for those one or two people that would trickle in the mornings or whatever. So we actually backed up our hours, and now we're only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And some people are like, oh, why are you only open 3 days a week? It's like, well, that's because most of the business is online, so we give them more attention. We need more days.
Because we know your broke ass ain't coming in on Monday morning to buy some books. Friday you get paid, so come on down Friday, spend your whole paycheck. That's why we open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's not because of time, it's because you got money.
Well, it's just like Saturday, we had an event in the store, and we had three artists in here. And
Saturdays are great days for events because you got your artists and stuff that are looking to to show their wares, get people to know about them, to buy art from them, and
But
maybe
so, like, I stream when I have guests in the store, I stream to the online community, and majority of the money they make is from the online community still. So we're still not getting the people that come in. I could almost have closed events, like and we have had that. We have done like closed events where we had Murat Michaels and Dietrich Smith in the store last year. And we didn't open that to the public. We just streamed online all day, hung out and chilled. And like, I don't feel like it would have made a difference if I would have opened or not, because, they have such a big presence online that, they're going to sell their stuff online, So, but I do like having the brick and mortar, but it does make it hard to manage both all the time, because I don't have like a bunch of employees or anything like that. It's just me, and then my wife helps out, and then we have another guy that does like the Pokemon side. So I'm doing all the shipping and invoicing and packing and all that stuff still on top of running the brick and mortar as well. And then
writing and running, an artist and a colorist and doing proofing and doing approvals and trying to deal with Pokemon cards. Like, oh my God, I could only imagine.
That's the hardest thing is like during the day, like the guy that runs the Pokemon site, he's a chemical engineer. He has a full-time job at a plant in town.
So chemical engineer by day, Pokecard appraiser by night.
I pretty much run the Pokemon stuff during the day too. So, and that's our biggest seller right now in stores is Pokemon cards. I mean, people.
People are nuts over them.
So I'm like,
and then you add in the fact that a lot of the cards have been sitting on boats for like ever. So like it's like, oh, pre-sale, this new Astral Radiance releases on 5/17. It's like 5/31. Nobody still has it in store because it's still sitting on a boat, and so people are buying it on eBay from like Hong Kong for like $500 to be the first one to get like the good cards.
It's really funny. We'll get boxes we'll finally get product in the store, and they always have like a don't sell by a certain date. And like, we'll get like something on like, we'll like say this week we get a box. It'll say don't sell until May 5th. I think it's July 26th. I guess we're good to go.
Yeah, that's the fucking sad reality of it, man. Like I buy Pokemon cards. I'm not gonna lie. I got a whole shit ton of Pokemon cards. Like I got a whole shelf. Let's see, right there of Pokemon cards. and well, as you can see, my statues right there sitting out. I got to get them dealt with because I got that super cheap, dude. That's an antique curio cabinet. It's real oak. You want to know how much I paid for that bad boy? $30, dude. I asked the guy, I was like, how much is that? And he's like, oh, it's $30. So I went and looked at it, and it's like it actually has like an antique tag on the bottom of it. And so I looked it up, and these things go for like $1,700. And I'm like, I paid $30 for this thing. So I got all my statues out, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna start loading this bad boy up with some statues, get some badass stuff going on, put some of my primo Pokemon cards in there, like my Armored Mewtwo, and because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big nerd. I mean, look, there's Pokemon Go. Oh, here we go. What is it? Oh, damn it! It said the name.
Well, like when we first opened up, like everyone wanted to make us a Pokemon stop, and I guess Pokemon was they were like not taking on requests for Pokestops or whatever. There's too many requests or whatever for it. So, but we ended up getting so many people. We finally ended up being a Pokestop last year, I think it was.
Yeah, well, a lot of the game stores, like a lot of the comic book stores and stuff like that, are stops and they should be rightfully because you guys carry Pokemon cards. So if somebody walks in there to buy Pokemon cards, they should be able to spend a stop too on their Pokemon Go.
Like all the churches around here are Pokestops. Like they give a crap about Pokemon.
Every church is. So they automatically tag any religious or landmark as automatically a Pokestop or a gym.
I guess they're hoping
all churches from the get-go have been Pokestops. They weren't requested. So, but like places like you or like a vape shop or say like in Hannibal, there's this really fucking cool, I mean, it's badass, this fucking train that's painted on the side of the building. Whoever did this, my God, are they an artist? It is absolutely beautiful. Well, somebody took a picture of it and sent it in and said, this should be a Pokestop. It's
Yeah.
now a Pokestop. It never
Right.
used to be, but then now driving through there when I used to for work, now it's a Pokestop. And so like churches and landmarks have always been. It's like there's a statue somewhere in the middle of town. It's been a Pokestop since day one. Because that little Google car that drives around and takes pictures of everything,
Yeah.
they use all that data from Google Maps in order to build Pokemon Go.
Well, that's
I know. Here I am nerding out. You're like,
yeah,
wow,
you're good. So
fucking nerd.
I don't know if you can see it behind me. Like I have my Snorlax shelf, and then I got the big Snorlax VMAX, and we got Snorlax on our banner because the first ever Pokemon caught here was Snorlax, so he's like our official.
He's your official mascot.
now.
Dude, I love Snorlax. Snorlax is awesome. You know what's cooler than Snorlax? Baby Snorlax. Baby Snorlax is so freaking cute. Have you ever seen it before?
I have not seen Baby Snorlax.
There he is right there.
Oh, Munchlax.
Is that not cute?
Yeah. I honestly
He's
did not
freaking
know that
adorable.
he evolved from him. That tells you how much I know.
Well, see, these are like babies that were added on later on. So like Snorlax was part of the original the original 151. A Pokestop sounds like a place where Gumby would take his breaks. So yeah, that's true. Man, Gumby used to be one of my favorite shows as a kid, man. Oh my god. Like I would go nuts over Gumby anytime we come on. No, leave it on. But no, it's so Munchlax was added on later on, like with some of the baby Pokemon, like Blissey and Clefable. They got a baby. Togepi is a baby Pokemon. So a lot of these babies were added later on. So Munchlax was one. I don't remember what region it's added in it, but it's not part of the 151 Kanto. So I'm a huge Poke nerd. I love Pokemon.
See, I used to collect Pokemon in the 90s. Like I was a big Pokemon person.
I'm telling you, man, I have my original 98 deck with like holographic Gyarados and Mewtwo, or not Mewtwo, I mean Charizard, Venusaur.
That's awesome.
And I got so many first edition cards, it's not even funny. And I'm like, I'm never getting rid of these. So they're like sitting away. Like I go on there and like I have the original. I have the original that actually has the VHS tape to teach you how to play. It was like it was the starter Pokemon pack that I got at KB Toys for like on clearance for like $5. Did they go for like $1,500? I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna hold on to these for like 10 more years. I'm gonna cash in. They're gonna be worth like $150K or something.
Right.
And then the Team Rocket, like here's where I get like blown away. So like this Team Rocket deck, it's a pre-built deck, and it's got like I don't think it has any boosters in it. It's just a pre-built deck. Like you get these cards, it's like $500, and I'm like, there's not even anything worth the shit in here. I'm like looking at the pack because it tells you what comes in, and I'm like, why did you pay $500 for this? Who wants to pay $500 for this? Oh man, it's terrible. Well, we've been live for about an hour now. We've nerded out on Pokemon. We've talked about what some of your favorite shows were growing up, your favorite movies. We talked about Strings, which is a psychological thriller that is available at Izzy's.com. And check out their website, buy some books, check out their store if you haven't before, and get in on this great book here, Sperm Wars. There is the link for it again. Once again, he's $471 from funding, so help share that out, help get them funded, and get you a towel. Guys, we got a cross promo in here for this. Right here, you can get, and these are high-quality towels, guys. Like, look at this. So this side's terry cloth. So this side's terry cloth. It's a little bit of a rougher texture if you like that rough texture. And then this side is microfiber, and it is super duper soft. Oh my god, it's so soft. It's amazing. And after you wash it, it gets even softer. Like there might be some like bleached out spots on it after you use it, but there hasn't been yet. No, I'm just kidding. I'm over here rubbing it all over my face. No, we haven't used this one. We did
ours are black.
Yeah, except theirs are black. Theirs are black, and it says Sperm Wars on it, and it's got the Jizzy Gone logo.
You get a blue
guys,
one,
these are high quality towels. We did ship these out. And they are high quality. They will hold up, and they have been pre-tested for after fun cleanup. That's what they were for. And if you want to get just a regular pack of them, hit us up. We can hook you up with customized ones. If you want to put customized ones on your campaign as well, hit me up, because you know what? We don't make a whole lot off of them, but you're helping out a family-owned business by doing so, and you're helping out another family-owned business by backing this guy's book, checking out the website, and getting strings. And guess what, guys? These towels are guaranteed to stand up by themselves after you blow your load on them. And when you get done with your woman, don't forget to say, "Don't move. I'll go get you a towel." So Tim, I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you the solo screen here. Give everyone the elevator pitch on
Sperm Wars. All right, Sperm Wars, everybody. Again, like he said, we're $471 away. Still 7 weeks to decide whether you want to join or not. This is a fun, lighthearted tale. Don't look at the title and judge it. It's going to be a lot of fun if you're a fan of a lot of 80s, 90s movies and cartoons and stuff. There's going to be a lot of references that are going to be fun for you. I like to call it a Lord of the Rings tale inside of the reproductive system of a woman. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff planned for it, a lot of stuff that we want to give out to everybody for the support. So please consider supporting it, and we'll take care of you. And when we hit $5,000, just so everybody knows, when we hit our funding, we are giving away a CGC copy of the first appearance of Spider-Woman, Marvel Spotlight, graded. So we will be giving that away. So anybody that gets in before that $5,000, once we hit that, we're going to be doing that giveaway as well. All right. And we got lots more giveaways along the way. So thank you all.
All right. Thanks for being here, Tim. Thanks for coming on and talking about Sperm Wars and hanging out with us, telling us a little bit about yourself. You're welcome back anytime, man. We'll have to do this again, probably closer to the end of the campaign. We'll bring you in on a Saturday on a panel show, and we'll joke around and have some fun, talk about some stuff. We'll share the links out again. So everyone, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for backing indie projects. Please share this project out. If you can't afford to back it, at least throw $1 at it. By backing it for $1, anybody that follows you on Kickstarter will get an email that this project exists. They may go check it out and back it as well. If you can't afford to do that, then please share. Sharing is caring. It doesn't cost you a thing. We can share all day long, but Facebook just starts burying our posts because the links and this and that, everything looks the same. So like nobody wants to see this. But if you share it, your friends are going to see it. They might share it, and it just creates a long chain of people sharing and more people that can get in on the project, and it helps us out a lot. So thank you so much for backing. Thank you so much for sharing. As always, this is Russ Explode Studios with projects that'll blow your mind. You guys have a great night and a great rest of your week.